I watched a 3-hour movie. A 3-hour movie. Babylon. What the hell's that? It's an elephant. Oh, help me. I'm Flea.
He's not an actor.
No.
Why does he keep being in stuff?
And yet,
He's good.
better
isn't
in
he?
this than he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, no
That's
one in
'cause-
that little...
I was gonna say, I think Damien Chazelle might be a little better at directing.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from
But still, why...
what's her name over on Obi-Wan, but
You think he's offer only, Flea? Or you think Damien Chazelle's like, you know who's got the look?
you know who I want? The ugliest chili pepper.
Go blibby down, zone diddy blibby down, dib zone dibby zone dibby dibby down, living in
Did you like
California,
it?
San Diego. Yeah.
Do you think, like me, that it was one of the best movies you've seen in the last decade?
It was good.
Yeah.
I
know it's a strong stance for me to take, but it blew me away. In
maybe
a way.
if that's the stance maybe if I didn't know that was your stance,
Yeah,
because
you
now I
probably
have to
would've
be
liked
a
it.
little.
Yeah, you have to be mean to me
Yeah.
now.
But no, it was. There was at one point where I paused it and I was less than 2 hours in, and I was like, "There's an hour and a half left of this," which I was fine with. Like you mentioned, I want to be there. It took me a while. I was trying to figure out what the vibe of this movie was.
Yeah, well,
Because you go, what the? It is just it's a comedy.
yeah, it's funny.
Because when you get there, I'm like, okay, they're having the party. Also,
Although I don't know how you didn't know that when the first frame of the movie basically is a guy getting shat on by an elephant.
well, no, that's why I went, okay, that's not what I thought.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Hollywood party, you're like, this is crazy, right? And then you've got some of the funniest little things going on.
So good.
But everyone always talks about, like, God, oh my God. They'll kind of make a joke about Eyes Wide Shut.
Mm-hmm.
They go, yeah, the movie's like Eyes Wide Shut. This thing is insane.
Eyes Wide Shut is kind of boring.
It's nothing compared to what I saw in this film.
The first 30 minutes are actually what I think smoking weed for the first time would be like. A trip unlike any other.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and
It's
that's what they're trying to do for themselves, right? This was the golden era.
Yeah.
No rules, no regulations.
And it showed. And
You win some, lose some. Dinky, dinky,
can I ask you about one scene that literally had me gasping for air
Yeah.
in the theater with 4 other middle-aged ladies?
Yeah.
I say other because I am a middle-aged lady.
Yeah.
When they first introduced sound into the process of movie making, just that whole scene where they're trying to get the take.
Yeah, where she's walking in to
Yeah.
the college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great scene. Like gasping for air. That's a good question. I was watching it by myself in my living room.
I don't think I've ever laughed out loud in a theater, especially by myself in like a pretty not packed theater.
Yeah, because that's embarrassing for you.
Yeah,
Especially if they're not digging it.
I couldn't help it. The ladies were laughing. I was laughing.
Well, that's good. You had some.
And Margot Robbie is incredible.
Yeah.
The scene where she first has to cry on command. And you're like, God, that's crazy that, I mean, I know she's a fake actress.
Right.
So, but then you remember, no, wait.
But
a real
she's being
actress
played
is
by a
playing-
real actress.
You're like, wait a minute. She's actually is great.
Yeah.
I got tricked by a movie about making movies.
Oh, I kept thinking about that.
Yeah.
That's what the whole movie's a trip, man.
Yeah, it is.
That, you've got Brad Pitt. Somehow seems like he's still 30.
Brad Pitt's cool.
And they're
And
both,
I know, and I don't like Brad Pitt, though.
what did he do?
I think he abused Angelina Jolie
Crap.
and or their children.
Well, there goes my next 30 minutes of what I was going to talk about.
Well, we only have 3, so we've got a little more.
Yeah, movie's great. I do like that the movie is. Well, I don't want to spoil the ending.
I think we should.
I'm just going to say this, so skip forward 15 seconds. I didn't need to see Avatar.
Yeah. It's the weirdest part of the movie.
I started to go, it's just like the next 12 minutes of the movie is like a montage of food coloring. And I got what they were doing,
Yeah.
and it's to have him at the end where he smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Then you get it.
yeah,
Right?
We could have cut the montage out completely and got the same message.
I think we understand, because after all that, it goes back to her saying, him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want to be remembered,
Yeah.
a part of something big.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that he was, because Jurassic Park's going to be made.
Right.
And he's like,
Exactly. I don't know. I heard in an interview that that was not supposed to be in the movie, but kind of as a last minute thing, Damien Chazelle was like, I don't know. I think we just need a huge musical montage of the history of cinema. And that's what they did. And you know what? It's a bold choice. I could have done without it, but also by the end of it, I was like, God, isn't life incredible?
I'm just glad that people are making these choices in movies. And I feel bad that it didn't do well at the theater.
Yeah, probably never will be able to again.
I'm part of I didn't go see it.
No, you suck.
But even if I went and saw it and loved it, everyone was like, "Oh, it was kind of critically." It is all over the place.
Yeah.
It's telling a bunch of different stories, but I want people to try something instead of just doing something that they know. Okay, we know these work. Let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
He did something crazy.
And I think too that it is like you have the stuff with the musician, and you have like it's all the dark side of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Like it's a very kind of cynical look at Hollywood, and then at the end is kind of but look at what it was.
Yeah.
Or, look at what it made. Mm-hmm. But it's still like you have all of this angry stuff towards Hollywood throughout the rest of it that you have to reconcile the entertainment versus the, kind of abuse of the people making it. Mm-hmm. And it's really good. God, let's go watch a freaking movie, man.
Yeah, I liked it. I would like to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. I forgot Tobey Maguire shows up too.
Yeah.
And he's a little freak. Even that, I'm like, this movie, it's just, there's so many parts to this.
Yeah.
Like this scene by itself is insane. This is a movie on its own.
Yes.
And then it's just gone. Like, I mean, it's part of the storyline, but you're just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's great. I wish I lived back then.
Yeah.
It seemed like they treated people really good.
I loved it. And every scene was like, just cranks up the tension. Like he's got to get the camera to set. And then all the cameras are rented. And he has to wait for one of them to get back.
Yeah.
And like the guy dies. It's just every scene mounts to this crazy point, and it's always good to me. Every single scene was satisfying.
And I think there was some. It's such I'd say it's bloated, not in a bad way, but it's a longer
huge,
movie.
yeah.
But there were so many good like little monologues or dialogue, like
Yes.
when the lady's talking to Brad Pitt's character, who we don't like now,
Yeah.
about his career.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this in a movie where it's not surrounded by a bunch of other stuff is great. And it's still great here, but I'm like, it's just part of the story.
Yeah.
Like this great monologue that someone's doing.
That's what you.
And there are so many people that have that. Or like the guy, like you said, the trumpet player, that scene where he has to like darken his face. It's just
I just got goosebumps.
so sad. It's so crazy. And then the way he's playing after that, and it's just part of this. It's just there with all this other stuff going on.
Yeah.
around it.
Well, it's kind of the lifespan of everyone in the Hollywood system, where they take the idea of minority figures and capitalize on them, and then they abuse women basically, and 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 everyone is sort of a victim, but also an enabler and like an abuser themselves. It's all very interesting. There's a lot being said, and also at the end of it, it's like, but it's good.
Yeah.
There's
But we like it.
it's such a weird conversation to be having over a 3-hour comedy movie.
that you're making in Hollywood with like some of the biggest stars.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm glad I saw it. I like it. I think I anytime he puts something out, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I hope he gets to do more. He's kind of like our Paul Thomas Anderson. You're in my use in mine.
Yes, yeah,
Everyone else gets PTA.
Yeah, you guys can have
We
it.
can get DC. You
I'll
know what I'm
take
talking
this
about?
And I like that, like even that scene with Brad Pitt and the, I can't remember the actress's name.
Yes.
Great acting, great actor. But like all of the ideas aren't
No idea what scene
necessarily
you're talking about.
the one that you're talking about his career.
Yes. And even the one he has with his wife.
Yes.
It's like my parents couldn't go to the theater.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That.
It's all good. And it's all not necessarily new stuff, but I think I said this before. It's the best version of all of this stuff that I've ever seen put to film, put to any medium. It's the best version of these ideas and stories.
Because even when you're watching it, it's just the metatextual thing of there are all these actors on set of this Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
That's what I love about any movie that's about making movies. If it doesn't suck,
Yeah.
okay, let's just remember that part. But it's like when you've got 100 people going to war on screen, but it's about the people making that. You still have that going on.
Yeah.
And all this stuff that's going on when they're doing all the long cuts of all the different scenes that are those are still actors doing that, and
Yeah.
you're still doing that behind that there's a layer of everyone that's making this movie. It just seems like I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you write that and like be confident to tell someone I'm gonna make this
Yeah.
and it's gonna work.
It's so good. It's so good.